Hello, dudes. This is part 2 of my little missed opportunity in the community. If you want to mosey on over to part 1, where I discuss the first point, which is getting rid of misconceptions, and the episode synopsis will be right there. If you don't want to see it, or you just want to mosey on to this video, let's get this party rolling. So I compare the Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000 as something like suited for success. A big statement, I know. Well, in all honesty, I compare it to more of like, it could have been as suited for success. Because as suited for success is to art, Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000 is to the business world. Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000 is a business episode. Even by the premise alone, covers one of the most important parts of business and economy. The apple cider supply cannot satisfy the demand, so Flim & Flam introduced new technology to produce a fast and efficient product with an over-the-top business pitch. The brothers request a partnership where the apples will supply them with their machine to make the cider, so where the profits are made in their joint venture would be split 25-75. The Apple family rejects and the two become competitors instead. And I just gave you a summary of half of the episode. And there's so many other things that's even more subtle within the episode that also parallels the business world. Such as how Ponyville was so quick to switch from being loyal to the Apple family to being more interested and involved with the Flim Flam brothers. As it is not unusual for consumers to move from one thing to the other because of a better deal or for convenience. Another fact that's really subtle, and I do mean subtle, I didn't get this until probably the 4th or 5th time that I saw it, and even then it was a eureka moment. Well, the Flim Flam Brothers song is not only meant to introduce the brothers, their machine, what they can do, and to win over Ponyville. The Flim Flam Brothers or Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000 song is also a very elaborate and very showy business pitch to the apples. The Flim Flam Brothers were always interested in a partnership, so the second that they got on screen, they were trying to sell themselves with the apples. Even the part where Flim asks Applejack for apples, it is not only to demonstrate how the machine works or what the machine can do to the customers, it's also to show and demonstrate their partnership. It's like if the brothers are saying, look at what we can do together as the Flim Flam Brothers and as Sweet Apple Acres. And it all makes sense because when the song ends, Apple Bloom just immediately jumps in there.
You got a deal!
What deal? They never talked about a deal. And then they started talking about like if it was some sort of deal. And then it's like, oh, no, wait, this is a pitch. This was a pitch. This was their entire intention. This was a show for not just the customer. It was for the Apple family. And the Flim Flam Brothers don't stop selling themselves up until the end of the contest. Because I don't honestly believe that they thought that the Apple family would go through with the entire contest. They probably believed that the Apple family would have given up within halfway, being like, hey, this is looking embarrassing. Hey, is that deal still open? 'Cause we could do that. And it's those little eureka moments that I really love about this episode. So if I ever start gushing within this video, I apologize. I'll try to avoid that as much as possible. But there is something that I believe I'll say that most of the fandom agrees with, and that is that Flim & Flam are foils of Applejack. But not in the same way that most people think. Like I had already stated in my previous video, that Flim & Flam are neither lazy nor are they con men. So they don't foil in the way of like Applejack's a hard worker and they're lazy bums and Applejack is honest and they're con men trying to take people's money. They foil in many ways that's both positive and negative for either side. Like the two that we could easily knock off is that Applejack is very down to earth and Flim & Flam are extremely showy and up in your face. And how arrogant the Flim Flam brothers are and how humble Applejack is. But the foils that I will be getting deeper into are arguably around the same area. Like Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie, Applejack is perfectly happy at where she is. She doesn't have any intentions or bigger plans for her and her business. The instant she got her cutie mark, she knew she just wanted to tend to Sweet Apple Acres. And that's what she has been doing since then. And by contrast, the Flim Flam brothers are just oozing with ambition. Every second they're on that screen, they are trying to get ahead and get to where they want to be. And that hurts and helps both Flim Flam and Applejack. On the positive side for Applejack, she is happy at where she's at. But that contentness keeps her from having a desire to improve or better herself or her business. And the good side about the overambition is that they're always looking to be bigger and well known around all of Equestria. But in the way that the overambition hurts them is that they become more competitive and aggressive towards others, especially from those that are keeping them from their goals, even if it's someone that they want to try to work with. And the other foils just go hand in hand with how Applejack is unambitious and Flim and Flam are very ambitious. As Applejack's comfort makes her afraid of change, which leaves her closed-minded to new ideas, whereas Flim and Flam revolve entirely around change and are completely open to trying new things. Applejack is just content knowing how to tend to apples and keeping up with the family tradition of how the business works. Flim and Flam had the desire to pursue the cider brewery business, even with their physical limitations and the lack of an apple farm. And with that, they used their strengths and put other skills up front for their business. They put their mind into their machine, which makes the cider. They put a lot of energy into their magic, which powers their machine. And they put a lot of their success in their knowledge of marketing and how business works. And pretty much all of their skills are up front for the viewer to see. We see that the machine works. We see that they're very strong with their magic, with how the magic sucks up a tree. And we see that they are successful because of how their arrogance is, and how they don't hide that they've been through this before and come out on top. I think a fact that bothered a lot of people about the Flim and Flam negotiation split deal with the Apple family was that why couldn't they make it 50-50? 50-50's fair. When I read that or I heard that, I was like, I'm not much of an expert on economy. Heck, I don't own my own business, but I remember from economy class that 50-50 was never a good deal between partnerships. In fact, it was one of the killers of a partnership. So, in my own curiosity, I looked up what is a good partnership split. And according to Brad Sugars, a CEO, a business coach, an entrepreneur, he's the expert. He says that the best kind of deals is a 60-40 or 70-30 split. 70-30? 75-25? Coincidence? I think not, especially considering with the fact in a deal that at face value seems very unfair is actually the reality. Flim and Flam know the business world and they never show that they were above negotiation. So they could have easily worked into a 70-30 or even a 60-40 deal. It also shows how ignorant the Apple family is when talking about the business world. Something that has been shown in previous episodes before as well. But the most amazing thing that comes from the two foils is that within these foils, we are able to tap into Applejack's fear. I had mentioned before in the way that they foiled that Applejack is afraid of change, which I should have said is Applejack is absolutely terrified of change. Applejack is unarguably the bravest member of the main six. Every villain, every problem, every monster that she had to tackle, she tackled with confidence or little to no fear, whereas even Rainbow Dash got scared at some of the things around her. So imagine me when I was rewatching the episode going like, "Hey Applejack, what's up with that face right there? Why are you so, timid here? You could beat these guys up if you wanted to." It took me a while, but I just couldn't fathom how Applejack was just letting these two skinny, tall, scrawny men get to her. It was just a question that kept revolving around me until I was thinking in class one day, and I was like, to Applejack, Flim and Flam represents something more than what we see, than what we know. They represent something bigger than we, the viewer looking in, can possibly understand. I don't know if a lot of people have made the connection, but not only is this a business episode, this is perhaps a foreshadowing of the upcoming Industrial Revolution. In other words, big change is coming. And it's not the kind of change that Applejack wants. And it's the kind of change that she is aware of, that it could take everything that she has loved, everything that she has worked for, everything that she's comfortable with away. She can lose her farm, she can lose her business, she can lose her lifestyle, she could lose her home, she could lose everything. Everything. That little bubble that she has kept, that she has believed that will stay up until she's probably Granny Smith's age, has been destroyed the second Flim and Flam have driven up to her gate. She realizes that she's running out of time, that everything's happening too soon for her. Everything that she doesn't want will happen. This is just a small cider business, a slice of a slice of a slice of what she does. But who says that it can't grow? Who says that this is not just the beginning? Who says that soon enough they'll have machines bucking the trees for her? Who says that eventually they'll be overrun by big fancy businessmen? It is not exactly Flim and Flam themselves. It's what Flim and Flam represent. It's what Flim and Flam foreshadow. And it was just something powerful to realize. We have yet to see anything get under Applejack's skin. And it just opens up so much more about her character. This idea, this comfort is a security blanket for her. Nothing else exactly threatens her in the same way. We have never seen this side of her. It will probably take us a while if we ever see this again. And the only thing I really like about the contest, besides showing that Flim and Flam have been through this man versus machine thing, is the fact that even with Twilight and her friend's help, she lost. At first I didn't like that, and I'll explain why in my next video. But the more I thought about it, the more I loved it. The more it amazed me, the more it impressed me, the more it came off as a haunting thought. Change is coming, and not even the most powerful force in that show can save her. Friendship overcomes everything, yes? Especially in this show, we're able to defeat powerful alicorns, gods, anything. It cannot change the fact that her friends can't save her from this. And that's something that even now saying it out loud sends chills. It just, wow, and wow. Just, I can't even imagine the after effect that it may have when we're not looking on screen. Yes, in the end, she won. Yes, they left. More likely than not, they won't come back to Ponyville. I wonder how she felt in the end of the day when she realized, we lost. We lost. The only reason that they even left was because of a mistake. It's something that would leave you staring at the ceiling for hours in the middle of the night. It's something that would haunt you in your nightmares. You know it's coming and you know you're not prepared for it at all. And that just makes the episode so much more powerful. Flim and Flam could have just been throwaway con men. But the fact that they're not makes them even more of a threat. They are smart, charismatic, competent, passionate businessmen. And that's what makes them even more of a threat than a con man can ever be. So even with all the points that I've presented here, the episode is definitely not perfect. And I will address all of it in the conclusion of Missed Opportunities in the Community. Thank you so much for watching part 2. Please comment, and feedback would be awesome so far. So tell me what you think. So yeah, see you dudes in the next video.